to show, but first, just a little overview. POSP is a week-long immersive program designed for incoming first-year students. You move to campus a week before everyone else, and then we spend days doing direct service in the community, and you're separated into different camps, which we'll get into a little bit. But it's just a really great opportunity to meet other incoming first years, as well as all of the staff are current students, with the exception of Mash, who's also great. But it's just a really good way to get to know people before your year even starts. You get to know the campus, you already moved in, you feel acclimated and really ready to kickstart your first year. And you have those connections to the city of Easton, which is your home for the next 4 years. So it's a great way to do all of that. And it also serves as a really good funnel into some of our other Landis Center for Community Engagement programs, and just getting to learn about those and how to be good stewards and good citizens as well. So I'll get into more details, but first I want to show this little video about why that last year's directors, Zach and Alicia, made. And it's a really good way just showing, yes, here we go. A little bit more about POSP. So let me know if it's not working.
To me, POSP means a community. I have kept in contact with all the people I have met through POSP, and they have gone on to become some of my best friends at college.
I originally applied to POSP because I love community service and I wanted to get to know the city of Easton better. But POSP ended up being something that really jump-started my experience here at Lafayette.
POSP has given me incredible friends and a new definition of community engagement. I come back every year not only because of the incredible energy and passion of my fellow upperclassmen, but because I love introducing first years to the Easton community and giving them the best start to their 4 years at Lafayette.
So POSP is the week-long service program that occurs the week before orientation, in which first-year students have the opportunity to come to campus early and engage in a variety of service opportunities throughout Easton, meeting other student leaders on campus as well as community partners within the city.
I honestly think I continue to do it every year because of the people and the growth that I experienced during POSP. If it weren't for this program, I would not be who I am today.
The people you meet are such wonderful souls, and I'm at a loss for words, honestly, how to describe the people here. We're such a great community. We are all so different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different experiences, yet POSP is kind of the thing that links us together.
I would say that POSP definitely fosters a community environment. The people that I've met through doing POSP are some of the best people I know, some of my very best friends to this day. And I know they will be for a long time.
We have a huge emphasis on learning about what it means to be a member of the community and then participating in projects all across Easton that are going to get us to meet the people in the community and learn what makes Easton such a special city.
These people are the best people you'll meet anywhere at Lafayette, and the lessons you get out of POSP are like none of the others.
By the time everyone else moved on campus, it felt like I knew so many people, and all of the other first-year students that weren't involved in POSP, they questioned how I knew so many people, and it made my transition so much easier, and I acclimated to campus so much better.
Is that everyone involved cares deeply about the world around them, specifically the Lafayette and Easton community. And I continue to do it because it's just such a great group of people that I can call my best friends.
I know as a first year, that was how I was able to gain a little perspective and feel a little more at home, because I was able to connect with the community and understand what many of the community members are about.
And I thought it would just be a good way to meet new people before the start of my freshman year. It really turned into so much more than that.
And truly, you'll learn how to do service for the right reasons, and you'll stay involved, you'll stay active. And it's truly just a wonderful time. that you will carry with you throughout the rest of your life?
I think POSP has taught me some of the best life lessons that I've ever learned. It has given me an amazing new perspective on life and service and communities that I have never gotten anywhere else.
To me, POSP is about learning awesome skills and taking it wherever you go, all with a great group of people by your side.
I'm so grateful for the opportunities that POSP has directed me to.
POSP means understanding what it means to be part of a community. You're welcomed by so many staff, students, and community partners that you're really able to understand your place at Lafayette and within the greater city of Easton to really make it your home.
That we bring together community engagement and social justice. We do it in an inclusive way.
POSP is the absolute best way to start off your college career, and I wish I could go over and do it all again, but I can't, so you should apply right now. You won't regret it for a minute, I promise.
So that was an amazing video that was put together. You recognize some of our current staffers there. But I just think it's good to hear from some other voices a little bit more about POSP and why to do it. So to get into some of the like nitty gritty details per se, it runs from August 22nd to August 26th this year. So you'll move in on a Sunday. In the morning, and you're going to live in the same dorm that you'll be in for the rest of the semester. So it's just like a one-time move. It's not like you move again at the end of the week. I apologize if anyone can hear the noises. And then, so that's the Sunday, and then you say goodbye to your friends and family that come brought you off. We kind of have like a transition lunch. And then we spend the rest of the evening just getting to know our groups and learning about how to be active citizens, how to kind of engage in meaningful service throughout the week, and a little bit more about your specific camps. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you spend basically the full day kind of doing direct service at your locations. And then the evenings are for reflection, as well as some fun activities that we do as a group just to really bond. It kind of has a very like summer camp feel to it. I think is sometimes what POSP is described, because it's definitely fun. Like at the end of the day, like that is what it is as well. Definitely for that direct service component too. But I think talking to anyone who's done it or who continues to do it is because it's a very fun time. And then on Thursday, the final day is a reflection. And then we also have a barbecue with our international students who have been on campus with us all week doing their own activities, but they're also there early. And then that Friday, the 27th, starts the rest of the first year orientation. So then you're going to join all of the other incoming first years, and then you're kind of off. But you'll still have POSP, this community, this family, and we'll always be here for you as well. But that's kind of what it looks like. In terms of the camps, we're running 3 this year. We have 1 kids in the community, which Annie mentioned, and maybe wants to talk a little bit more about. We have, I think we're calling it PARDS in the community, which is another youth teen camp. And then we also have our food justice camp as well that deals kind of with sustainability and food justice efforts in the area. So if Annie maybe wants to talk about KIC, and then Nat, if you can maybe talk about the other 2.
Yeah, so KIC this year is partnering with Paxinosa Elementary, which is one of our local Easton elementary schools, and we are going to be going there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of POSP and running different stations for different grade levels, grades 1 through 5 at Paxinosa. And our stations include a collaboration station, which kind of emphasizes teamwork and like getting to know each other, friendship, stuff like that. We have an art station, which is a little bit more creative. And then we have a science station, which is a little more technical. And they're going to be making lava lamps and cool stuff like that with the kids, which is really exciting. But yeah, that's just like a really good opportunity to kind of introduce elementary school kids to some college kids and like kind of allow them to think about like, maybe I want to think about college as something in the future, not necessarily like, oh, I want to go to Lafayette, but more so just like introducing the concept of college and kind of putting that in the back of their minds as they continue to progress throughout the education system. But yeah, it's really fun. It's an awesome summer camp.
So I can now talk a little bit about UGI, which is what I did my first year. So UGI is a bit smaller than KIC, and this year it's going to be probably 5 to 6 first years and a director. And what you'll do is you'll go to La Farm, which is our Lafayette urban farm, and you'll have the opportunity, food justice camp, that's the name now, sorry. And you'll learn about farming, and you'll participate in a lot of farming during the day, and also talk about the fact that Easton, the beautiful city where Lafayette is located, is a food desert, and what that means, and how initiatives such as La Farm are working to kind of give people better access to fruit and vegetables as we live in a food desert. So UGI is really fun. You get to be outside all day and like get really close with those other first years. I loved it. And yeah, our director for it is amazing. So you'll have a great time.
So Parts in the Community, it's kind of a new camp, but kind of something that we've always done in POSP. If you are part of this camp, you'll either be working with children or teens at two community partners in Easton and our sister city, Phillipsburg, which is really exciting. And a lot of your role, if it's camp, it's something that you're interested in, would be more about like mentorship. You'll be working really closely with people and trying to like, as Annie said, like a very similar thing here, like making sure that people know that college is an option for children. Again, you'll be kind of just introducing it, but for teens, you might actually have people with actual questions about college that they want answered. And you can talk about like how they could access college and different financial aid options. But other than talking about college, it's a really fun time where you'll make some really special connections. And you'll just overall like have a really fun summer camp, and you'll get to be student leaders in it too, which is really exciting to be kind of a leader from the moment you step on campus.
Yes, thank you all so much. Those are great explanations. So Brenna and Brady, we just threw so much information at you. So sorry for the overwhelming amount of things, but we want to open it up for questions, anything you might have about POSP, as well as anything about Lafayette too. Like we are all here. We have a wide range of like different grades too. Mash can answer like questions as well. So anything you got, let's hear it.
How many students are in POSP and how many are in each like camp?
Yeah, great question. So it looks a little different every year. This year, we're looking for about 20 incoming first years. And then, as I think Nat said, we're gonna have about 5 or 6 in our UGI or the food justice camp. KIC is our biggest one that I think we're gonna have like 8 or 9 first years. And then that leaves another like 6 or 7. Oof, math is not my strong suit. At the other parts in the community one. So that's kind of how they're separated. And on the application, you're able to say your preferences, and then we go through applications and decide, oh, 12. Okay, 12 for KIC. Scratch my previous numbers. And thanks, Amy. And so you can, on the application, say what you're interested in, and then we go through and see where we think you all would be good fits for.
It'll probably be about 24, and then we have a total, like with the full group, anywhere between 45 to 50. So there's equal amounts of upperclassmen as first years. And that just put the breakdown in there.
The correct numbers.
Can I ask if Lafayette like provides the transportation to all the locations, right? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you won't have to worry. Like once you move in, you'll be with us and we'll get you wherever you need to go.
All right, thank you.
What do POSP first years do when everyone else is moving in on the Friday or whatever it is?
Yeah, good question. Oh, go Nat.
Yeah, figuring might maybe not like, but if anyone else, feel free to chime in. But it's actually so nice because you will be moved in already. My roommate was international, so we moved in together, but otherwise you'll be there first. You get to choose the nice side of the room and you'll be all set up, and everyone else is huffing and puffing up the stairs and you literally have free time. Like my parents came up and I got lunch with them, and then we joined them for like the first thing they do after move in. But I would recommend getting out of your room so you're not tricked into moving your roommate's stuff as well. But what did everyone else do?
I think for me, I actually hung out with a bunch of kids that I met during POSP because we all had free time together and we all like had become friends through the program. So we were like, okay, like why don't we all go explore Easton and like go get some food and find something fun to do, which was really cool that I already like had those that group of friends before like my roommate had even moved in.
Yeah, so I feel like that answered your question, Brenna. And then in terms of like at the end of the week, like I think first years move in on Thursday, the rest, and that's like our final wrap up day and the outdoor barbecue. And then Friday just kind of like launches into orientation. So there's not like a large amount of overlap where the POSP first years are just like, well, what do I do? But yeah.
And I think sleep is also a default. Like I think from what I've heard from most students, and I would venture to say that you're probably going to be in the same boat. You're going to be super like fulfilled, but also super tired of everything that has happened because we do run pretty long days of not just like service based and like engagement based stuff, but also community building. So it's all good, but a very intense, immersive experience that you should 100% rest up for on Friday before you get into first year orientation.
Awesome. And I know that there's the first lunch and then the barbecue and stuff. Like, how do meals work throughout POSP?
Yeah, good question. So you will get fed, don't worry. Food will be there. So the way that it works is for breakfast every morning, each incoming first year is assigned a current staff buddy, and you'll get them over the summer if you're accepted into the program. And it's just a great point person to have to connect with, to really start to get to know, ask any questions, and then you really get to know your buddy when you're at POSP. So every morning you eat kind of with your buddy or like other groups of buddies. So that's kind of how we start the days. Yes, I love my buddy. Like a lot of them have turned into like really good mentors or like close friends that we have. And then lunches will take place at your specific camps, and that'll be a different format for each, but they'll be provided. And then for dinner every night we have back here, and sometimes it like has a specific program with it. But don't worry, like there'll be meals. That is just also like a good chance to get to know different groups. Sometimes you'll eat with your camp, sometimes other people, just because we really want to make sure that you're meeting as many people and amazing people as well as possible.
Food will be provided, and we do take into account dietary restrictions or allergies or anything like that. So we'll gather all of that information from students once we've like offered a spot and people have accepted. We send out a form that essentially asks to confirm everything from medical information to like dietary restrictions, t-shirt size, stuff like that. So all of that will be captured.
This is more of like a general college question, but do any of you have any sort of like regrets from like your first couple of weeks on campus that you would like want to warn like an incoming freshman about?
Great question, and feel free to ask anything about your freshman year. So this is not from the first couple weeks, but I'll say this. My freshman fall was one of my worst academic semesters when I was taking the easiest classes because I just like the transition was really like my high school was like not a very rigorous high school. So it was just like a shift. So I'd say like set aside that time in the fall because now I'm like, why was I getting worse grades in easier classes than I'm getting now? So that I like am always warning, like both of my sisters are going to be freshmen next year and I'm warning them like take your fall classes seriously because you do not want to be like trying to pull your GPA up. So I would say that if I had to have a regret, which I had a great freshman fall, like I had a lot of fun, but don't let your grades slip maybe.
I would add, I don't really have this being a regret because I think I did it pretty well. But I would really encourage you to find like upperclassmen that you can trust, maybe in your major or something, and to use them as like resources for navigating Lafayette. Now with POSP, you will get a built-in one with your buddy plus all of the people on staff who you'll get to know. So POSP does actually kind of help there.
And kind of to go off that stuff, something that I struggled with is I was just like afraid to ask for help in my first semester freshman year, and I was like, oh, I'll just figure it out myself, I guess. But that was very silly of me. I wish that sometimes I had just been like, I don't understand how to do this. Like, let me just ask an upperclassman that I trust, like, to help me with this. And I feel like that would have saved me a lot of time and energy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I was not on campus my first semesters. It was like COVID, woo. But I would say like on the academic side, like going to office hours and kind of like touching on what Nat said, like the professors here are amazing, and like it can be really intimidating because sometimes like their intelligence just like overwhelms me some days, but like I know at the end of the day like they care about us as people, and so like really going to office hours for like even little questions, like they're there and they want to chat, and I just think it's like a really good way. And if it's like a class you really like they can be a really good point person for like other courses in the department, or if you like don't know your major, like they can potentially help you point in direction, so they're another like great resource to have. So I really like encourage that.
And last but not least, I have a different perspective because I get to see all of my students. You are going to be so tempted to commit to everything. Like so tempted. Like, oh, this group's amazing. This group's amazing. This group's amazing. And it's also really difficult because that is the Lafayette culture. You're going to find very quickly that like, yeah, Annie, I'm totally 100% like adding you right here, because it is so easy. It's the Lafayette culture to say like, hey, we encourage you to be this like well-rounded, you know, group where you're involved not only academically, but also like extracurricularly, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But it is so difficult to say no. Do not be afraid to say, that sounds awesome. I'm really interested. Now is not the time. Let me circle back to it, because these groups are going to be around. These sustainability groups, Landis groups, like truly be aware, be self-aware of what you need and who you are as a person and how you are going to navigate this year, because you will commit and then you're going to find out very quickly that, oh, I can't fit all of this into like the same amount of time that I thought I would. And then you're going to be strapped, and then you're going to be stressed because you don't want to be a horrible person and say, oh, I actually can't do this. And then you're just going to force yourself to do it. And then you're only going to get 2 hours of sleep a night. And then you're going to like start suffering in classes. So it's going to be this vicious cycle that I'm just going to say, stop right now. There is plenty of time to get engaged and involved. And there are different ways. So utilize your upperclassmen, their advice, and make sure that you are self-aware for yourself, that you don't stretch yourself too thin. Get your footing first, and then slowly ease your way in.
Thank you all for your input.
Are there any major things that we should bring to our dorms or whatever, or just like with us that like may not be on the ordinary list or are on a typical, you know, college list that are essentials or things that were surprisingly necessary?
Good question. Little foreshadowing. There's also going to hopefully be a little packing list that comes out for first years if you are accepted into POSP. But I would say like a mattress pad, like the little foam things, like it might be on some, but like, oh, it's incredible. Like as much as these are nice mattresses, like they're really not that great. And so having like the foam on top, like just makes sleeping so much better. And like I would for sure recommend that.
Yeah, for me, definitely like get some sort of lanyard or hair tie or something to put your key on and your key fob on. I have an older sister who's in college, so she kind of coached me through the hair tie on your wrist method, but if she hadn't taught me that, I would have lost it like 7 million more times than I already have. So definitely that.
And if you get engaged in Landis, you may get a lanyard of Landis stuff. It's crazy. I'm just saying, it just seems natural that these things are pairing together.
Doing something fun to do with friends, like a board game or something. A lot of people will, you know, have brought them, but it's always nice if you're looking for something to do, to be able to just go to your common room and be like, hey, I got a board game. And then that is a natural springboard for like conversation, meeting new people. So I would encourage you to bring something like that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for the great questions. Like keep them coming too if you have them.
I have one for what you have to bring. So a lot of people end up buying a mini fridge, And if you like ice cream, you have to get one with a separated freezer and fridge. Like, don't get one with a freezer and the fridge because nothing will be frozen. It will be terrible. I hate my mini fridge with the freezer in it. So get them separate. I know that sounds so random, but is it not better, Annie?
I have the one with the freezer inside and it does not work.
I
Yeah,
have the separate
too.
and it
Yeah,
does
you have
work.
to get them
Keep
separate.
it separate.
And feel free to elaborate stuff, but I think a micro fridge like the school ones. Yeah, I didn't do that. I just got my own mini fridge, but yeah, get the fridge and freezer separated. And Abigail, maybe note that down to put on the packing list for first years because I was gonna tell you that outside of this anyway, because it's like I wish someone had told me that.
I have nothing against the micro fridge, but they are a little expensive, and if you want to buy them from the school, and the microwaves in like common rooms. So I would recommend just bring your own fridge. No need for the attached microwave. But that's my personal opinion. Do what you want.
We have a very opinionated group in a good way. So now is the time truly, like if you want straightforward, honest, candid answers, ask your questions because we will be straight up with you. But not too straight up because we're recording, but we'll be straight up. You know what I mean? Matt, do you want them to bring an air fryer just so that way you can use their air fryer?
I'm gonna honestly listen. If you don't bring an air fryer, you can come by and use my air fryer. But here's my air fryer pitch. A, you'll have a microwave on your floor because every floor has a kitchen and every kitchen has a microwave. But B, most things you would make in a microwave, you can make in an air fryer and it'll taste better. So that's my pitch. Get an air fryer, get a mini fridge with separate freezer, and that's all you need for some people. It might not be a bad idea if you drink coffee. Like I don't have a coffee maker, but I know a lot of people have. But yeah, and also I would just like to second Stefano's point about bringing like a game or something interactive. I think that's a really fun idea. Like definitely, especially freshman year, there's a lot of like hanging out in dorms, so it'll be nice to have.
You can also ask about your majors if you want. I don't know what you guys are planning on majoring in, but we have a pretty wide array here.
Can I just ask, did any of you like change your major from what you like thought you were gonna major in?
I've changed
Yeah.
it like 3 times. Yes, I have. Thankfully, you don't have to declare until the end of your sophomore year, so you kind of get 4 semesters to figure out what you're doing. Because I thought I knew, and I don't know. As an update, I came in as a math major. I'm now an environmental studies major. Very small overlap. But no, I think Lafayette is very understanding. They do when you come in and like they ask like what you are when you come in. You can either say or you can say undecided, which is very common. And they try and pair you with an academic advisor right away in your department that you say. But if you like, so I have a math advisor, but I found like an environmental studies advisor that I wanted to talk to, and like they're like, yeah, totally, like talk with them, work through things. And it's, there's nothing official that you have to change in your first 2 years because they recognize that people are playing around with things, trying classes. That's how I found mine. I took like an intro to environmental studies class and I was like, oh, this is everything I want. So definitely like kind of explore different classes with intros. But yeah, don't be afraid to change it or say like, oh, I'm not who I thought I was. And Lafayette's understanding of that. And you can, I think, change it after the end of your sophomore year, but it's a lot harder to fit in all your course requirements if you do that, which is why they have that deadline. So that's kind of how that goes. Hopefully that answered your question, but yes, it's common. A lot of people do it, and it's totally fine.
Thank you.
And then Brenna, to answer your question too, we have this new like place on campus. It's a diner that just opened. It's called Trolley Stop, and everyone raves about it. I'm pretty sure meal plans are taken under a specific dollar amount of the order. Is that the way it works? So it's like if you order something that's under $7, then it can count as a meal swipe. So you can get like cooked food. Not that dining halls aren't cooked food, but they are sometimes skeptical and sometimes have casualties who eat food and they're like, I don't feel the best. I'm like, did you eat at this place? Yes. Okay, cool. You'll find out those places. It's the typical experience of any cafeteria, but under $8. Thank you. So that's something that is exciting that people have been looking forward to as well.
This is a bit tangential, but the first time Abigail and I ever met in person, I took her to Gilbert's and I was like, this is my breakfast sandwich order. It's the best thing you can eat on this campus.
I get it so often, like the same order, like it doesn't change. Like it's just.
Wait, what's the order?
So good.
Oh my gosh, Nat, you gotta tell it.
I'm ready for this.
Just Gilbert's is already my favorite place on campus, and then they have the breakfast sandwich, and you have to get it with the veggie sausage, especially if you're a vegetarian like me. Oh, you've heard about it. Yeah, the veggie sausage, and then you have to get the cheddar cheese because the cheddar cheese is like enough cheese. The American cheese is just not enough. And then you could get it with 2 eggs now. I don't do that a lot, but then I like to get on the English muffin, or I like to get on the croissant if they have. So recommend, but sometimes I have to resort to the English muffin, which is all right. But the croissant, amazing. And yeah, they definitely count as a swipe at everywhere but Trolley Stop, which Mash was just talking about. Like all of the 5 other places, you can get everything for your swipes.
Yeah, and most of them, like at like Gilbert's or some of the other cafes, like you also can like get a drink, and like the breakfast sandwich comes with like tots as a side. So like it's like a full meal. It's not like you're just getting one. Some of the like I know like at Rockwell, the Eco Cafe, like if you get the sushi, you just get the sushi because like it's so expensive. But like it's like getting enough with it.
And honestly, like 20 swipes is more than enough. Like after first year, pretty much no one is on 20 swipes because you just won't go through that many swipes.
That's a good recommendation for your first semester. Like, it'll be very tempting to want to like skip breakfast, and a lot of people do, but you're paying for those swipes. So, in my opinion, try going to the dining hall, get up 15 minutes early.
I don't know, Mash, if you wanted to speak at all about how POSP connects to Landis in general, or if like Brenna and Brady, maybe you're already experts on how that connects. But sometimes that can be confusing because I'm seeing heads nods. Mash, do you maybe, sorry, as I throw you into the spotlight yet again.
No, I love it. It's fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you the wheel, which is great. I freaking love this thing. I created this because we needed a visual way to be able to look at how Landis connects, and no one gets it, even the people in Landis. So all the students are like, oh my God, no. Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. So yes, Landis Center is the hub of community engagement at Lafayette. And the way that I describe it is there are other groups on campus that are engaged in the community, like athletics or Greek life, and they do their own thing, but Landis is connected with those groups to where we have at least some visibility, if not all visibility, and advising on how we connect to the community. So we have over, I think we had 37 community partners as of last year, which is super exciting, all within the Easton community. They all roll up into different areas of like a portfolio of what do they do? Are they for like justice and sustainability? Are they education based? Are they relating to like entrepreneurial or development within the Easton communities? So they all kind of roll up into their different portfolios, which is very exciting. And so the Landis Center is kind of divided into like 2 different pillars. One is through engaged scholarship, which is how we connect with faculty when faculty decide to run engagement in their classes. And then we have civic engagement, which is the student-led, student-run, student leadership portion of Landis. And that's what I'm in charge of. That's what POSP rolls up to. And so give me a second while I pull up the wheel. I'm so excited about this. It's great. One moment. I think I actually created slides just for everyone to see. All right, cool. Here we go. I think I can present still. Yeah. All right. So this is the wheel. Feel free to screenshot it because it's a lot to digest.
Your calculator is up and covering part of it.
Oh no, hold on, sorry. Here we go. I was calculating hours of missing. There it is.
Okay, cool.
That's much better. So this is civic leadership. As we go through, we have 24 weekly programs which fall into the recurring bucket. 40 community partners at 37, and then 70 leadership position and over 100 volunteers that span these different groups. But to orient you, we have 3 ways that you can get connected, and the 3 ways of engagement through Landis. There's event-based, which is solely looking at like one-time events that need support, or one-time Landis events that like recur annually. Actually, Annie here in our group is the director of PARD project. So that's super exciting. Plug for Annie, definitely get connected regardless. So that's our event-based group. Then we have our immersive group, which falls into POSP and a group called Alternative School Break, or ASB. And that's where we have 1 week of service and community engagement solely focused within that week. But the individual groups meet more frequently throughout the year. So we have spent, as part of the executive team for POSP, the whole year planning POSP. So if you're in a leadership position, or especially with ASB, like as a member, you would be meeting weekly, but you would be planning all for that 1 immersive week of engagement. And then last but not least, we have our recurring programming, which is our weekly or bi-weekly programming that runs to various community partners. And that's where we have different teams broken out. So we have a community resource support team, tutoring, mentoring, and our America Reads, which is a federal work study tutoring program. So all of these are ways in which you can get connected. Hopefully this allows you to see how POSP kind of rolls up. You have this 1 immersive experience, but we hope to plug into those recurring experiences into like one-time event support or event-based volunteering opportunities. And then there are tons of leadership opportunities. So that's the other great thing about POSP. You're getting started understanding what service means, the true meaning of what service is to the community, and how our civic responsibility reflects that. And then from there, you can grow in your experience and in your leadership to be able to not only display what that service looks like for you, but also encourage and educate others to understand what service and engagement truly means within the community. So that being said, I'm going to stop sharing the wheel, which is beautiful, by the way, if I do say so myself. And I'm going to ask what is this, Stefano? I need you to educate me on what you requested.
Oh, a dodecahedron. It's Abigail probably knows better because I haven't done math in years. But I believe it's a 12-sided shape, like a sphere with 12 sides. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not a sphere because it would have sides. Oh my God, Abigail has one.
Oh, I love how I lean forward too to see this closer. Oh, that's cool. It's part of the math club. That makes sense.
Yep, there you go.
There it is.
That was because I just reorganized my shirts, so I knew where it was, Annie. I'm not like actually put together.
That's great though. But yeah, we could do a Landis dodecahedron. I love that word. I'm going to be saying that. I'm like, is that a dodecahedron? And people are going to wonder what that is. It's like the word defenestrate. Does anyone know what defenestrate means? It's like one of my favorite words. Nat, do you know what defenestrate means? Because I've talked to you about this.
I think I knew because my friend, long story, but my friend defenestrated a bunch of papers once. So
really?
Oh yeah, the sub handed out a worksheet and she was like, I'm not gonna do this, and
she defenestrated them.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Does anyone know or want to guess what defenestrate means based on those social cues that we just gave? All right, I'm just gonna say it. It's when you throw something out a window, you defenestrate it. So like in action movies, a lot of times my wife will say, oh, that guy just got defenestrated. I'm like, yeah, because he was just thrown out a window. It's not a big deal.
Thanks, Nat. I don't think if I start using it, but I don't know. That's not how I would have spelled it in my head, so I appreciate the typing. Yes, any other questions? As again, a lot of information. This will be recorded and we're going to post it places, so feel free to reference back. I think I sent in the chat. I can send it again. No, I can't. It's not working. But our website has a lot of information, as well as feel free to follow our Instagram. And the Lafayette Landing will be another great place. A little bit about the application process itself. So it's due this Friday. I sent a link in the chat. It's kind of like your regular run-of-the-mill application. I'm sure you're sick of filling them out, but we try to make it a little bit fun. But we just want to get to know more about you, your connection to service and community engagement. There is not any kind of prerequisite to be involved in community service to participate in POSP. We do not judge you based on your level of involvement or where you fall on our like active citizen continuum. But it's more about like the demonstrated interest and kind of where you see yourself. And then other basic information as well about you that we can have to kind of speak to that, Brenna, in terms of how competitive. Kind of depends on how many applications we get. They are all blind as well, but we have a bunch of our current staff members read through them blind and just think about who would be good fits for POSP and for what it represents. So I think numbers. Last year, I want to say we had about 50 applicants and accepted about 24. So it's it can be competitive depending on how many applications we get. But you know, even if you aren't accepted into POSP, as Mash said, there are plenty of other Landis programs and ways to get involved. So it doesn't have to end there, and we're not going to be mean to you or anything if you want to reach out with questions. But yes, so that's the application, and then we will go through and read all of them. And then early July, I think July 2nd, we said we would be getting back to people about when they're accepted, and then move through the rest of summer, giving you information, giving your buddies information to you, and getting ready for move-in on August 22nd. So yeah, any questions that you may have, totally, we'll be sticking around. You can ask them, you can message any of us, but we also want to be respectful of your time. We really appreciate you all coming out on a Tuesday night to hear more about POSP. But yeah, thank you all so much. And anyone else has things to say?
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Happy to share it with you all. Please let us know if you have questions.
We will. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Brady.